Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby Beyond Forever Sport for today's World Rankings preview. 4 teams involved today, well, this weekend rather, and it is Team 1 and 2 in the world, Team 5 in the world, and I think 8 or 9 in the world are Los Pumas. But it can all change very, very, very quickly. In fact, they're 7th. In fact, now I actually remembered. So it can all change very quickly this weekend because they're playing obviously very lower or higher ranked teams, and so a lot can happen. With regards to the world ranking, not that they really matter because in a week's time we'll be, crowning a world champion. But the world rankings are there. They provide us a bit of a form guide, really, and therefore it's interesting to look at them. Before we do, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right. So first things first. How can New Zealand go number 1? Well, if they beat Argentina and South Africa lose to England, the Springboks drop 2 places to 3rd, which means New Zealand will move up to 1st. They've actually not been on top of the rankings since 2021. So it'll be almost 2 years since November 2021. So almost 2 years since they were at the top of the world ranking. So, yeah, the All Blacks got an opportunity to get there, but they require the Boks to lose. If South Africa and New Zealand both win, if they both lose, then Ireland will return to top spot. So they both can drop down. It'll be interesting, wouldn't it? Ireland knocked out the World Cup and yet a week later going up to number 1 in the world. Don't think they'd really care because obviously being in the World Cup and winning a World Cup is what they really want. But yes, suppose, silver linings and all that. A narrow defeat would see South Africa fall 1 place to 2nd, with England climbing above a beaten New Zealand into 4th place. Argentina will swap places with Scotland, taking over 6th place if they beat New Zealand. However, Argentina can go as high as 3rd for the first time since 2008 if they beat New Zealand by more than 15 points and England win by the same margin. That would see England go as high as 2nd, with South Africa and New Zealand falling down to 5th and 6th respectively. Imagine going from 1st down to 5th. Would be a bit depressing, wouldn't it be? So first just don't lose. That would be an all-time low if the All Blacks were to drop down to 5th, or to 6th, because their lowest ever is 5th. It would also be the first time since the new rankings were introduced in 2003 that both South Africa and New Zealand would not be in the top 4. Interesting times. England have not been ranked as high as 2nd since February 2021. South Africa will drop to 5th if they lose to England by more than 15 points. There will be no positional changes if New Zealand and South Africa win to set up a repeat of the 1995 World Cup final, whilst South Africa can only gain a maximum of 0.46 by beating England, allowing New Zealand to close the gap as they can earn up to 0.65. Basically, it's an all lose no win scenario for the Boks because they can't go. I mean, they obviously can't go any higher. They are the number 1 in the world, but any sort of loss, they can go tumbling quite quickly. I don't think we'd really care how far we tumble, more than the fact that we'd be tumbling out the World Cup. But it's interesting how sort of it can change. I suppose we all talk about the world rankings not being fair. Argentina suddenly go up to 3rd, for example, with a big victory, and South Africa, New Zealand dropping down to 5th and 6th, Ireland being 1st. It wouldn't necessarily be reflective of the World Cup, but I suppose there are certain teams that could rise quite quickly if they beat the right teams, which should probably be the case. In Argentina go and beat New Zealand, then they should be able to rise quite quickly. Similarly, England go and beat the number 1 side in the world in South Africa, they should be able to rise. The issue probably here is how quickly the tops can fall, because if New Zealand and South Africa were dropping down to 3rd and 4th, that would literally make sense because they would be in the 3rd and 4th playoffs. So they're never going to quite work out like that. But I don't think they're far away, actually, to the current world order, which is what I said in the review earlier this week. So I don't think, again, depending on what happens this weekend, I don't think they'll be that far from what the world order is when it comes to the world rankings. But South Africa do win this. It means that they can go on to win the World Cup whilst being ranked number 1. They obviously keep the number 1 status. And who can then really argue when you're the number 1 ranked side in the world, you've got the World Cup, you are the best side in the world. Nobody can take that away from you. So, beat England tomorrow, beat whoever you're playing next week, the World Cup is ours. That is the main thing. That is the only thing that matters. But these are the permutations for the world rankings. Let me know what you think they'll be in a week's time, or on Monday rather, when they get updated, and who you think are going to be in the final for the World Cup. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon.